Well, Phase 5 of the MCU has officially come to a close over the most recent TV series, Ironheart. I haven't really watched many series from the MCU. It's not because I didn't want to, it's just I've never found out the time. I'm to do so. Because for me, I find it easier to watch about 1 to 2 to 3 hour movie than like a lot of episodes in the TV series trying to tell one cohesive story. Re- I've definitely watched a few Marvel series, both from the MCU and not, and there are a few who I fairly enjoyed. I like Miss Marvel, and others I've not been too huge on, like the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. But I will say, Ironheart did interest me. Mainly because it was focusing on Ironheart Williams, who was introduced early in the MCU back in Phase 4 with Black Panther Wakanda Forever, which I really loved that movie and thought really was a really good character in that feature. So I was excited to see what she could do with her own series that Marvel gave little attention to. And what's even worse, the reviews I've seen for this film have been decent or mediocre at best, and extremely terrible. But like what? Seriously, like some of the hate the series recently got is as extreme as the hate for the Snow White remake. Like, of course, we all know the main reason since this is getting hate mainly because of those racist people who think, oh my gosh, Australia should replace Tony Stark and she's a person of colour, that she shouldn't be either new Iron Man 2.0. So as you say, yeah, we all know those types of people. Those are the ones that I hate the show the most. Even though there's a good chance that they refuse to say it and just go along with the hate because they know it will make it popular. Well, unlike those people, I decided to give the show a watch for myself, and I gotta say, it's pretty good. Maybe not the best thing to come from the MCU, especially from Phase 5. Because there have definitely been some good films in that in fact, good to great films such as Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Deadpool and Wolverine and Thunderbolts. Oh, but Ironheart is a solid show. Oh, it's not the best thing to come from the MCU, but it's not one of the worst things either. So let's start and take a look at the positives, because I do have quite a few. Mainly with the main villain of the series, Parker, aka the Hood. And I gotta say, he was a fantastic villain. He started off as a solid little antagonist at the beginning of the series, but as the series keeps going on, and his rage gets the better of him, that's when he becomes a more interesting villain. I really like the powers that the Hood gives him. Him and how they can be dangerous and turning him into a worse person as it goes on. I also like how there's a lot of mystery around this character, yet only a little bit of it is explained for the show. I like that, because it leaves it open to explore all Parker's character and other Project X in the MCU. Riri was a really solid main character, who I really like the arc of. Yeah, she does a lot of bad, questionable things throughout the show, but I honestly think that's a good idea, for a hero to have, because it shows that even the best of superheroes can be as bad as the worst villains. And I also like it. I really like it. It's shown. And Mary's character arc is really interesting. Thing. And I also was surprised to find myself really liking what they did with her best friend, Natalie, who turned Island passed away before the events of the show, but was able to come back as in the form of an AI. Now this can be quite preachy if done wrong, but I was surprised to find out I thought it was handled quite good here. Yeah, I like how it gave us a bit of a glimpse of what Natalie's character would have been like when she was alive. I like how as she's an AI, she can have a bit more of a quirky personality. The action scenes are also really good. And I find them to be quite exciting. They don't happen as much as I thought they would, but when they do, they become the highlights of the highlights of the series. Especially when Riri's in her Ironheart suit. Which brings me up to a fact that the visuals are pretty good. Maybe a few bits of CG felt out off, but I'm going to let that pass because I do have a feeling that these TV series aren't given as big of a budget as like a big MCU film. And I will say the last episode has grown on me the more I thought about it. I didn't really think much of it at first. So I thought it was like a decent conclusion to the show. But I've seen really people get really invested into the ending because it introduces the character that people want to see in the MCU for a long time. Uncle Mephisto, I think that's how you pronounce it, right? And in the end, and it's revealed that Mephisto is this kind of that, Apple. Also, in the end, our main hero ends up making a deal with the devil, so we can get her friend and Natalie back in full flesh. Again, I really like this because it shows that heroes are prone to make mistakes and can do terrible things as much as villains can. And making King Riri, aka Ironheart, a complex ex-protagonist. And I like how it shows the lines forming over her body at the end, like they did with Parker. That honestly was quite interesting. So what are my problems with the series? Because I said that this is nowhere near the best thing to come from the MCU. Well, the main storyline, while interesting, feels simple. I will say, the series did a good job to feel like a series rather than an actual film. I can definitely see how this could work as an actual movie if you cut a few scenes from it and change a few things around. But it does a good job feeling more like a series rather than an actual movie most of the time. However, I don't feel like this story was made for a series. With a series in mind at first. Yes, they did a good job of making it seem like a series, but there are lots of parts that feel like they drag on lot. Which can make the viewing a bit more boring than it has to be. This is especially the case with episode 4. I'll admit that could be just a me thing because I was just beginning to wake up when I started to watch that episode, so maybe I could have waited a few more hours till I was fully woken up. But I just wasn't huge in that episode. And I did definitely find episode 4 to easily be the weakest kiss of the season. So what's up? About the other side characters, I've already talked about Out and Alley, but but what about some of the others that do get involved? Oh, well, they're fine, I guess. And that's as discussed. I should turn out to be the son of the Volpodized thing, ain't which I thought always quite interesting, but they don't really continue with if that, and it leaves quite easy to be a bit of missed potential. So Parker's gang is a lot of fun, and then they definitely have interesting personalities that can help them with the heist that Parker has, but the most they can show is just a small little personality trait, and that's it. Even some of the other side characters that try to help really like her mum, and this young new magician that was trying to follow in the footsteps of her mother don't offer much to the series, and it take a while for me to get invested with them. But does that ruin the show for me in any way? No. Ironheart is still a pretty good show, just not the best thing you'll get from the MCU. Yes, it can have a pretty weak story that does feel like it drags on at some parts, and the side characters don't have much to do. But there are enough O's that help me feel like I enjoy it. Like some solid characters, a great villain, then a finale that grows on me, mostly good episode, some strong acting, pretty good visual effects, and some great action. My recommendation would depend on how much you really want to show about Ironheart. If you're interested in the character and you like I Turn Wakanda Forever, then you'll most likely enjoy this. If not, you might not miss out much if you choose to skip this one. And yes, I do admit that the hate this series has got, I think it's a bit too much. And I do think people are overreacting when they say they hate this so much. Ironheart might not be the best thing to come from the MCU, but I've definitely seen worse, and it is still a solid show on its own, and that's why I'm giving it a 7 out of 10. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Feel free to comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye!